you have sex, you will get pregnant and you will die. Obviously not. That's just a line from the movie Mean Girls when they're talking about birth control. But in reality, because if we didn't have birth control, that would be our lives. We would be getting pregnant as soon as we have sex, pretty much. Hi, my name's Christine Fisher, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about why I think birth control should be made free for the entire country. The 3 reasons why I think birth control should be made free for the entire country is that 1, it lowers teen pregnancy rates, like drastically. 2, it allows for further education for teens and for women in general. And 3, it will save everyone money, men and women. Who doesn't want more money? So first, I'm going to be talking to you about how it lowers teen pregnancy rates. So few teenagers are allowed contraception or even talk about contraception. But aside from just the knowledge about contraception, it needs to be available and it needs to be free. Having free and cheap and accessible birth control will help teenagers have safe, protective sex and will drastically lower teen pregnancy rates. Obviously, if we don't have birth control, teens are still going to have sex, they're still going to get pregnant, but if you have free birth control and it's easy to get, then that will drastically lower the rates of teen pregnancy. And even in Colorado, they actually did this, and they made the entire state have free, cheap, accessible birth control. And they did a study, and according to an article in New York Times by Sabrina Tavernise, 40% drop. There was a 40% drop in pregnancy rates from 2009 to 2013. If that doesn't tell you that our whole country should be doing this, then I don't know what will. Just the fact that it would drop 10%, just the fact that it will drop at all, should make people realize that this is an important thing. We have way too many teens getting pregnant, and it'll just save the entire country money if we make contraception free. So now on to my second reason for making birth control free is that it'll allow further and longer education for teenagers and for women in general, really for everyone. So by making teen pregnancy rates lower, which I talked about in my last topic, it means that they're able to go to college or finish high school or even just go to a technical school and get education and technical skills to get a job to make money so that they can actually afford to have kids instead of having kids before they can actually afford to have kids. And according to the National Conference of State Legislature, only 40% of teen mothers actually finish high school, which is shocking. It should not be that high. And actually fewer than 2% of teen mothers go to college and finish it by the age of 30. Just think of how many more people will have a better education, be putting forth ideas and bettering our country by going to college, going to technical school, getting jobs, and that could just be affected by making birth control free because it'll lower teen pregnancy rates. And just to help you put this into reference, just think about your grandparents or their grandparents. They didn't really have birth control. They didn't really use birth control when it was available. But they all got married pretty much right out of high school or in high school because that was what they expected to do. And basically, as soon as they got married, they started having kids because there was no birth control. And obviously, when you are married, usually you have sex. And if there's no birth control, then you're going to be having children. And my grandmother didn't go to college. Her grandmother didn't go to college. And so just think of how many more people in our generations could have had further education and knowledge just by having birth control and not having kids so early. They could actually finish school or go to school. Some don't even go to school. So that was our second reason. And the third and last reason why birth control should be free is that it saves everyone money. Who doesn't want more money? I know I want more money. It's birth control is very expensive for people in low income or people who don't have health care because they don't make enough money. So just think about how that can help everyone. You can, even if you're low income or don't really have a job, you can still get birth control because it'll be free, and you can keep yourself from having kids when you're not able to, or maybe you don't want anymore, and it'll just save everyone money. And in 2007, the Deficit Reduction Act that was put in place by Bush, actually raised birth control rates drastically. According to a study about this act done by Emily Gray Collins and Brad Hirschbein in 2011, the price of birth control jumped from $5 to $10 a month to $30 to $50 a month. That is a huge jump. That's not even like a couple dollars a month. That's like $20, $30, $50 more a month just for birth control. That's not even taking into effect healthcare. And they found that the health professionals that were affected by this were worried that the women that were being affected by this would lead to fewer women using birth control, which means STIs, getting diseases like HIV, AIDS, all that kind of stuff, cancer. And they were worried that they would go to their fewer women visits to check up everything, and that could lead to later on in their life having really bad health problems like cervical cancer, breast cancer, all of that, and that it could mean more use of emergency contraception like abortion. Everyone in our country is just up on everyone's cases about whether or not abortion could be legal or whatever. But just the fact that having free birth control could lower that rate, I think that could help a lot of people out. And also they were worried about unintended pregnancies, which we talked about with teen pregnancies, that obviously when you raise the price of birth control, less people are going to be using and buying birth control, and so there's going to be more pregnancies, especially in teens. So let's recap. So the 3 reasons why you should have birth control free in the entire country is that it lowers teen pregnancy rates, it allows for further and higher education for everyone involved, especially for teen mothers and women in general in high school, and it also saves everyone money. The country, individuals, the family, everyone money. So next time when a governor or a representative or someone in Congress or the president starts talking about a bill that might be passing about making birth control not accessible or more expensive than it already is, now you know that you need to say no, and that you should say no, and that's your only option. Instead, you should vote for yes for cheap or free birth control, and yes for accessible and easily accessible birth control. And many options that are free, not just one type, because obviously not everyone is able to use any type of birth control. So just think about that. Think about how this will affect your daughters, your granddaughters, their daughters, just everyone. Everyone is affected by birth control, even if they don't think they are. So this is a very important issue, and you need to keep this in mind for your future endeavors. And with that, I thank you.